Morning everybody, welcome once again to Sunday Q&A, which once again I'm going to split into two parts because it goes on too long, so we'll do Sunday and it'll spill over into Monday. Right, starting off, the continuing saga of these. Mark Everson was first in. He says they're from, as we can see by the design here, Joy Division oven gloves from the album Unknown Pleasures. And London Creative, who's my mate Nick, who's also London Creative, has got his own channel out there. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but everyone loves a subscriber, so if you can and if you do watch London Creative, it's all about London and art and painting and stuff. But subscribers would be nice for the fella, so if you get the chance, please do. He says the oven gloves are from Unknown Pleasures, Joy Division. He said, Googled Joy Division oven gloves, and he said, I've got an article ending with a quote saying, so grab your Joy Division oven gloves and don your Duke of the Prague and wake it, the biscuit are coming to town. The clue's there. You're both right and you're both wrong. Yes, they are Joy Division oven gloves. The album featured is Unknown Pleasures, but they're not from the album Unknown Pleasures. Stay tuned to the end to find out. Yeah, that was really interesting. Right, so we'll cover the videos first. Tramping. Tramping was a big one. I think it features very heavily with you guys. It doesn't feature so heavily with me. I tried to have a go at it. I got out there on Monday and ended up coming home Tuesday, just because that's where the job led me. But I've got a new approach, and I said I've got a new approach. And what I'm going to do now is, like Monday morning, I've got my bag packed, and I'm going to go, I think Monday I've got Nottingham to Sheffield. And if I get to Sheffield, and there's going to be, Sheffield to Watford, or Sheffield to Oxford, or Sheffield to Ipswich, or something like that, I'll probably do that and come home. If there's Sheffield to Ellesmere Port, or, sort of Leeds to Newcastle, Leeds to Aberdeen, for the right money, I'll do that instead. It's got to be for the right money, because you got to add the cost of your hotel on, or I can keep in the van, but I'd rather get a hotel if I can, so that costs me another 30, 40, 50 quid out of my day. So it actually makes it dearer staying out than it does coming home. So with that in mind, I'm going to let the jobs dictate where I go. I'm not going to deliberately tramp. I'm not going to deliberately not tramp. I'm going to let the jobs dictate they go. But the people are out there, so what do we say? Matthew Smith, he says, get yourself one Just Eat. They will deliver kebabs and Chinese, usually to your truck. Yeah, I think that is the way forward. That's the next thing I've got to do. I don't suppose it's that tricky. You just sign up. Alternatively, I thought if you're on Just Eat, it shows you where the places are in the area. Then you can Google and ring them directly and go, hi. And then I can actually speak to the guy who's delivering my kebab and go, I'm in the car park opposite Asda's. This is the number of my truck. So I don't know. It kind of strikes me as a middleman for no apparent reason, but we'll see. Domain name guy says, drivers Tramping will soon be flying drones from their truck to their local takeaway, picking up their takeaway and flying it back. It's all I can do to do videos on my phone. That's going to be way ahead of the curve for me. Well, mind you, I've got another technical thing. We'll come to that in a minute. Mark Lachlan. Now, he kind of kitted himself up for tramping. He said, I've tramped for 2 years now. I've got a long wheelbase high roof Sprinter. Front half was my stuff, fridge, cooker, toilet, solar panel on the roof, fold down bed, and he said in the back I can always get to. He basically had, I think it was a long wheelbase, an extra long wheelbase, and he split it in half. So the front half he could live in, the second half he could always get 2 pallets in. He said I very rarely needed to move more than 2 pallets anyway. He said I've done overnight and long jobs like Egham to Aberdeen, or even longer. 1 job a day, maybe 3 or 4 a week. But he said the COVID's killed the jobs now for the moment. There's a lot less. But he said I loved it, and when the weather was good, I'd just have a day off and enjoy where I was. That's kind of nice. So that's the idea that I kind of thought when you're booking at the travel lodge of a night time. I said this in the video, I think. When this COVID thing all blows over, if you're out for the night, have a wander around. If it's a nice place, walk along the river, see a park, find a pub, that kind of thing, So Paul Davis. I said the biggest problem with tramping is you don't get your end users. Paul Davis says, yeah, you're right, end users is a problem. He said, but I love the lifestyle, just me and the dog, Monday and away. We get hardly any dead miles and it works for me. No, I say the thing about the exchange, everyone does it their own way. And what's right for me, what is right for me might not be right for you, but you do what's right for you. You do you. Leanne said, Oh, because I did the thing about earwigging, yeah. He said, when I was a coach driver, I used to do exactly that in a pub, especially when I was in the same place Monday to Friday. So you saw the same drivers all week. So you kind of get in with them. You could go in the next day. Hello, Barry. He said, nowadays, doing this truck like 1 to 2 nights a week is enough for me staying out. He said, I like my own bed. And he said, you up the M1 on Monday, you should be looking out. I said, you know where I am, my friend? I'm Northampton to Sheffield. And Jeff Seymour says, I do the earwigging thing and join in while in the pub. He said, it drives the missus nuts. When I did the video, I thought, does that sound a bit sad? Standing next to people in pubs and eavesdropping a conversation to try and crash in on their conversation, And I think part of it comes from being an only child. The truth of the matter is, guys, I was never supposed to be here. My mum was very young when I was born. She was 18, my dad was 20. He disappeared off, kind of wasn't really part of his remit, I think. But he came back when I was about 5, and then he stayed for the remaining 27 years. So, kind of better late than never on that score, up until the stage that my mother found a pair of knickers in the laundry basket that weren't hers, and then everything went absolutely crazy. So crazy, I wrote a book about it. Follow the link to the website, please. But yeah, we used to take me on holidays, and because only child, it's like you go and find friends. Like, that scares me. I don't want to go and make friends. You go and make friends. So I wasn't angry or anything. They just tell me to go and make friends. So I ended up going up to people and going, "Hello, my name's Peter. Will you be my friend?" And it was always very nice. I never ever got a reject. Everyone would say, "Yeah, of course. Well, will you play with me?" That's weird. And they'd always go, "Yeah, I'm going home tomorrow." I always seemed to pick the kid that was going on like, it became a catchphrase. But I don't know if it's because you have to push yourself out that makes you outgoing, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing now. Don't know, do you? That's the thing about life is tapestries. You can never work out if you've lived it correctly because you've got no frame of reference. Right, back on topic. John Franklin, he says he doesn't have it. He says, I don't have a heater in my van, so I stay in a travel lodge. If the temperature is 5 or below, travel lodges are cheap. They are cheap and they're quite acceptable as well. 24 quid, that's cheap as £24. Or if it's 6 or above, I sleep in the van. It's like you said, Pete, it saves dead miles, so it works overall for me. You do you, my friend. Steve at SDC Services said, in the summer, plenty of work, great, enjoy tramping. Winter, little work. I'm earning as much on the van, on runs, but costing me a tank of juice extra a week. I'd rather be at home. So I think what he's saying is in the summer, he can stay out and tramp and save a bit of money and fuel. In the winter, the work's not there and it's cold. Go home. So yeah, well, we're coming into spring now, guys. So 6 degrees or above, we should be fine. Udin Productions says, hi Pete. Oh, it's about connected to Wi-Fi. Getting on their Wi-Fi, so nulls, and they got the screen, and one of them, I tried to get it on Google, and it said people might be trying to nick your passwords, and they didn't want to let me in. So then I went in via Bing, and that let me in, and then I thought, are they nicking my password? And he says, if you don't want to connect to the Wi-Fi, and you have a decent data plan. I have a decent data plan because I use my phone for my radio, my sat nav, the exchange. I need it for everything. You can use your phone as a hotspot to help you connect the laptop through the Wi-Fi. Let me know if this works. That's fine. The only problem I've got with that is, I can connect my phone to my computer. Right? Again, I'm a bit of a Luddite, but I can do that one. The problem I've got with that is if you're in an area that hasn't got great signal, and then the stream's going to. So I bought this thing. I haven't even opened it yet. Yeah, what it does. That plugs into the back of the phone, which we're currently recording on, and that bit there is a USB lead, which charges the phone so it can't go flat, and an HDMI lead. So the plan is plug that in the bottom of the phone, plug that in so the thing keeps charging. Oh no, that's a charger. That's a charger. That's just a USB port, I don't know what that is. And put the HDMI lead there, and then I've got all the apps on my phone. Amazon Prime, Sky, Disney, and Ken got me Disney for free, but it's got all the superhero films on, so I live with that. And Sky, Netflix, of course. And of course, you can download series onto your phone. So all I've got to do, get in the room, bosh, charge, bosh, back of the TV, hit the phone, press play, comes up there. That's the plan. I'll let you know how it goes. Unboxing. Unboxing. There we go. Chris C. He says, been looking forward to it getting a bit warmer so I can get out there more and not worry where I end up. To me, it sounds like no downside. fewer dead miles, get to see the country more. Once things start opening up again, it should even be better because I don't want to get stuck in the van when you finish for the day. Yeah, I see what you mean. Going somewhere and you just can't get out type thing. Going to try and sort out a portable shower soon with some kind of tent enclosure around the back doors. Not exactly how it will work, but I've got an idea. My mate Clive, who used to look after the lorries before they shut down, he used to have a Land Rover, and he used to drive it across the desert, literally the desert, not like ones where you have to drive like for sand for like 5 days. And they said we'd have this thing. It was a tent on the back, and it would fold down and go down like that, and they had a water tank on the bank, and then they have a shower like that. Quite frankly, it's fine if you're in the desert. I think it's a bit of a palaver. I think you're better off ignoring the shower, and you can go to motorway service stations. They've all got showers. Sometimes they look like a toilet door, but they've got showers, and you can ask to use them. Not all of them, but most of them have. Or I'd join a gym for the sake of join, I don't know, David Lloyd or Anytime Fitness, or even local. You can use leisure centres. You can go in a local leisure centre. You can sign in as a guest. You can go and have a swim. You can if they've got, maybe they've got a sauna, I don't know, have a swim or use the weights room, or just go and use the shower. Pay them out. I think it's for the less grief, and you'll get a proper nice clean shower all ready to go. So, and finally, Van on the Run, who is our tramping guy, who has his own, don't forget, Van on the Run's got his own channel out there. If you want, please check him out. He says, for me, tramping is as much about the adventure and the sense of independence more than anything else. I think you either get it or you don't. I get quite a few comments that I shouldn't have to tramp, etc. If people don't see the appeal, they assume it's done out of desperation. It's much more fun when the sun is shining and there's enough work, though. Roll on the summer. You see, it's that thing, isn't it, really? To me, it's a bit like the Mary Poppins principle. It's kind of like spoonful of sugar. As an older man, I've re-evaluated my opinion of Mary Poppins after watching Tom Hanks and Emily Thompson in that Saving Mr. Banks. Great film, that. But the whole argument is, you're going to have to do it anyway. You can either look at it as a chore, or you can look at it as a game. And if you look at it as a game, anyone ever seen that film? Because there's It's a Wonderful Life. There's another film. It's Italian. Life is Wonderful. It's brilliant. Really, really good film. And it's about a man, about a dad and his son. And it's Nazis and they're Jews and they're taken into a concentration camp. And the boy turns around and he says, "What's going on, Dad?" And his dad goes, "It's a game, son. We're having a game." "Oh, what's the prize, Dad?" "Oh, you win a tank." And he tries to convince his son all the way through the film that the whole thing is a game to try and protect him from it. It's a brilliant film. It's genius. Really, really good. So as far as the tramping thing, I think Van on the Run there makes a very good point. You can either think of it as something that you have to do to make money, or you can think of it as, like I said, freedom, the open roads, the cowboy sort of visiting the town and doing the thing. Admittedly, he's only delivering 2 pallets. You don't get to kill a load of banditos. And then kicking off again. And, is it good or is it bad? I suppose you do you at the end of the day, isn't it, really? So, yeah. Cool. Right. I did think I might do one, because I've started doing the cooking thing as well. Because we get this, this worked really well with the lockdown, because you can't get to Tesco's and no one's got a delivery slot. You have to queue up and 2 metres and take you forever to get round. It's not so bad now. But we had these deliveries. We started off with, I can't remember what it's called now. Something. Hello Fresh. And then now Gusto's coming. But the missus doesn't like cooking. She just doesn't enjoy it. Me and the kid actually quite like it. And once you plonk all the ingredients in front of me and they give me a thing and tells me what to do. And I did wonder whether you could do, maybe one of you tramping guys out there, a little sort of gas stove, cooking while tramping, whacking together a little sort of, I don't know, Thai fish curry. There you go. I don't know. Just a thought. Anyway, enough about tramping. As usual, like I say, these things go on. Right, getting to the job in time. One of the guys, I forget who it was, I did a video and he said, what if I can't, the job says picking up between 11:30 and 12:30 and I'm 45 minutes away. I'm not going to get there till 12:45. Should I quote anyway? And my answer was yes, but with caveats. Tell them you're going to be there at 12:45. Right, so I did this video up north because, like I said, I kept in Newcastle for the night. Steve Campbell said, that's Middlesbrough. about 30 miles from Washington. That bridge is closed. That's the Transporter Bridge. Steve, I'm aware of Middlesbrough. I lived in Middlesbrough for 3 years. That's I think we've commented before. And it's a lovely sight, the old bridge. It's like going home. It's weird though, I came off and I thought if I go that way, I'll get to see the centre, everything. Instead, I went that way, as usual. You know, where have you been? I've been Middlesbrough. What was it like? It was an industrial estate. Everywhere I go is an industrial estate. I've been to Paris. What's it like? It was an industrial estate. I drove in, took some pallets off and drove out again. Did you see the Eiffel Tower? No. That kind of thing. Never been to Paris in a truck. I've got Standard National. Lee Allen says about the bridge, he said that bridge featured in the programme with a German name and a bunch of billionaires. And at the foot of the bridge was Tuxedo Royal nightclub ship, which I think has now been scrapped. I think the bridge you're thinking of there, Lee, is the Tyne Bridge, which is in the middle of Newcastle. And if I remember correctly, I have fond memories of the Tuxedo Royale. The Tuxedo Royale, and also I think there was a Tuxedo Princess, and they were floating nightclubs. They were like a cruise ship turned into a nightclub. It was great. Oh, we had a Middlesbrough trip up to from the college up to the nightclub. Never seen the like of it before. It had a rotating dance floor, which basically I put my pint down, went for a dance. The floor rotated, come off the dance floor, couldn't find it again. Had to go and buy another pint. I think it was a deliberate ploy to get you one more beer. But I had a wonderful time. Yes, it was. It was great fun. Domain name guy says, a great video on the job in time. Thank you, my friend. He says it also applies to agency drivers. He said, e.g., when customer posts a job, they'll phone the agency driver and couriers will bid for the job. How fast the courier can get there is important to the customer, but sometimes you might be the customer's favourite courier, you might be further away, but they'll pick you anyway. And then he does go on to give an example, but obviously we've only got so many times. But if you want to read Domain Name Guy's thing, it's under the job in time comments. So, but yeah, it's a fair point. Ring them up, tell them where you are, tell them who you are, tell them your price. You'll win or you won't, won't you? Steve at SDC Services says, always be legit with the shipper, customer, or your good form is going to turn bad. Treat the others the way you will be treated. Billy Basics, not Billy, and I won't do the last word, mate. I'm sure you can fill in the blanks, guys. And ladies, of course. And C11 Yan says, it reminds me, he said, we did a job to Warrington to East London in a long wheelbase. Not enough time to get to East London by 5 o'clock. So our driver rang the delivery contact to see if the following morning would be okay. They said yes, but the shipper went mental. He said we should have asked them. Anyway, regardless of asking them, there's not enough time to get there. The shipper threw his toys out the pram, threatened to block us, and when I said, I'm not really that bothered, which didn't go down well, I quite like that. Block me if you like, I don't mind. Sometimes CX isn't worth the aggravation, but speak to the shipper, not the delivery contact. I think it's the only thing I can think of is if you're driving to a place and you know you're not going to get there in time, and you picked it up in time and you got there as quickly, the shipper can then go, right, okay, the goods you required, I told you at the beginning of the job, maybe they did, who knows. So, they're not going to reach you in time. They'll get delivered tomorrow morning. There will be an extra fee on the job. And maybe the shipper can get himself a few quid out of it. I don't know. Everyone's different. If it was us, we wouldn't. We'd just ship it in the morning, but there you go. So, and finally, I'm going to end on as a conclusion today, the longest job. Because that was a good question. Because Steve Campbell does this job, I think, with his dad. It's like, I think it's like red car. That's right, red car to Peter Lee. Oh, hang on, red car is like red car to Penzance and back again, which is basically the whole of England, give or take. Because if you go much further north than Newcastle, you're in Scotland. If you go much further south than Penzance, you're in the sea. So. But he says it's 384 miles one way. I guess that seems short to me, but I guess it goes down like that. And then back again, as I understand it, that is. But we need to get to Red Car to Peterlee first. There's another 27 miles on it. The job is only one way, but I go with my dad on these runs, and I get insured to drive the curtain side as a temp driver on the social domestic, £29 a day, which is good because I know he's been quoted crazy money on the insurance. But I bought that he bought the long wheelbase high top transit to get himself working, as my dad driving scares me when I'm awake. That's an issue, isn't it? So there we go. So, well, look, mate, I'm pleased you managed to get your insurance sorted, and good luck in the. I'm sure it's not a long wheelbase high top transit with the word beginning with S in front of it. I'm sure it's a lovely long wheelbase. Good luck. As for longest job, My maths isn't great, but we're going to da 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 da. Tom Grindley, longest job, da 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 da. Number 3, longest job, Stockport to Stornoway, Isle of Lewis. Just shy of 500 miles. Got off the ferry, met the bloke in the port, turned back round, got the same ferry back again. 5 hours in total on the ferry. Da, 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 da. Never been to the Isle of Lewis. I did the Isle of Lucy once. That's a Spinal Tap joke, sorry. Da, 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 da. Paul Davis, furthest job, Telford, I think it's Telford to Donington, Donington to Fort George Inverness. Drop reload for RAF Caldos, Heston Cornwall, and back to Heston Cornwall. Total miles, 1,185 miles. That's going some in the UK. Finally, C11 Yan, longest job, sold on the CX, Kent to the Isle of Rassi, weight and return, 1,334 miles in a long wheelbase. Curious to know how much you'd pay for that, mate. Anyway, that's it. Fine. And finally, Steve Campbell says, he says also, now this is a fair point, this. He says, I am pricing 75p a mile on long distance runs for a local man and van work at £30 or £30 an hour for self-loading, £40 if I have to get my hands dirty, up to 10 miles, including 50p per mile after the 10th mile. There's the maths on that when you can work it out. I think we'll come up with the miles again tomorrow on the miscellaneous. I know Van on the Run's made a good point. But finally, yes, they are featuring the album Unknown Pleasures. And yes, they are Joy Division oven gloves. But the song is from Acton Bono by Half Man, Half Biscuit. Hence the reason it says Don Your Jugular Prague Away Kit, because they did a song called All I Want for Christmas is a Jugular Prague Away Kit. So the pot's too hot, you'll never guess what. I've got Joy Division oven gloves. I'll do you a link. Cheers, guys. I'll stick it out tomorrow. And in the meantime, miscellaneous tomorrow. Take care. Take money.